So I started smoking when I was about 15, sorry mum and dad. At first to sort of almost like a social thing, you know, if you're all together and someone had fags and you're talking and chatting and having a smoke. So that carried it on. And I think by the time I'd finished, I was well and truly addicted, and deep down I think I always thought that I'd never quit, that it'd never work for me. And it was just something I had to, you know, put up with now forever. There was almost like a double thing going on. So in some parts, if someone said to me, you need to quit smoking, I'd be like, no, it's part of me. This is who I am. You can't force me to change, And then part of my brain was in denial going, one day when I'm old, I'll have to. Then old happened and I ran out of excuses. Tried loads of times. So I went cold turkey when I found out I was pregnant with my son. Managed that until he was born. As soon as he was born, I was like, oh, well, I can do that again now. Thinking that I had control of it. So I can remember starting again just after he was born. He wasn't very well. And I think I went, the stress of all of his illness and everything else, I can do this. I've got control of this. I make the choice and I can just stop again at some point. Well, then, he was heading for 6.5 years old and I was still telling myself I'd stop at some point and it was just for now. So my son's now, he's going to be 7 on Saturday. I can remember it very clearly, actually. I was stood by the back door because we always smoked outside, smoking outside the back door. And he just opened the door and said to me, Mum, I want you to quit smoking because I don't want you to get your foot cut off. Because he reads the packets. So now he's afraid for me. And that was the point where I thought, I've got to get a hold of this because it's not just me. It's him that's worried. It's him that's suffering. It's him that's worrying about what, his mum looks like in the future. It was really scary because I can honestly say that I genuinely didn't believe I would ever do it and make it stick. I genuinely thought I would have this addiction until I died, probably of a smoking-related illness. And then I saw something about the app somewhere and I read something that said, if you stick to a habit for 28 days, you're more likely. And in the end, I thought, I'll download the app, I'll give it 28 days. I can do 28 days smoke-free. I did 7.5 months smoke-free. I can do 28 days smoke-free. And I just told myself, if I got to the end of 28 days and I still wanted a fag, I'd light one on day 29. I did the 28 days, and by the end of the 28 days, I could breathe better. I hadn't heard my son say for 28 days, Mummy, I don't want you to die. And it didn't smell anymore, and I wasn't burning holes in my own clothes, and I wasn't spending all of this money, and I didn't feel guilty about the fact that the one really big barrier to making better choices about my health was something that felt like I'd done it. I'd tackled that and I could do whatever needed to come next. And it just felt more achievable with the app. And, once I'd made it to 28 days, I went, you've done all of that. It was really hard. There's absolutely no point going back. It's been about 6 months and 2 weeks since I quit, and I didn't realise until the app reminded me that it had been 6 months, and I genuinely couldn't believe how fast that time had gone. It just flew. I couldn't believe it when the 6 months came up and the app said, you've been 6 months, and I was like, wow. I would say download the app and then give it a go, and don't try and go it alone, because some sort of nicotine replacement, whatever your choice is, will just soften those moments that are really, really difficult to get through. And then the app will jump in at the rest of the time and remind you what the overall kind of plan is. So for me, it was a very two-pronged approach. One was the app reminded me every day the purpose for doing it, and the vape took away the I can't do this in those moments where you really feel like you need to reach for a cig.